We have 36 junior max drivers ready to get into battle. On the front row, it's Ollie Pilker from Dan Holland Racing. Alongside will be Daniel Ginchard from the UK for SFR Motorsport. Danny van Hoyten and Vilgot Edquist on row number 2. Tom Adams and a very impressive Tom Heinertz on row 3. Danny van Dijk and Maurice Schmeitz on row 4, with Kai Rielert and Callum Wesson on row number 5. Then we have Maurice Schuring, Lucas Scherbinskas, Sam van Thiel, Luca Thiel, Oskar Christensen, Valentin Klus, Max Stemmerdink, Artem Mikhailov, Drek Jansson, Gianni Andrisani, Axel Hansel, Lucas Schoenmakers, Bart de Wit, Sam Bergstein, Daniel Sorankov, Flint Schuring, Louis Mulat, Felix de Prente, Patrick Knowles Lokmelis, Charles Peters, Wout Kirstens, Lars Zanen, Jeff Machiels and Mike van Vught, with the last two drivers I've mentioned coming to blows on the outside of turn 9 on lap 2 of the first final, starting from 33rd and 34th respectively, with Giuseppe Fico being the last driver, as Arvid Rosen will not be taking part in this final, so he's a non-starter. So, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats. This could be another cliffhanger. It's going to be a battle, I think, between both Pelka and Ginchard for overall honours here this afternoon. 35 drivers, 13 minutes, plus 1 additional lap. We are about to go green for the final time for Junior Max in the BNL Karting Series kickoff. They're under starters' orders. The red lights are on the starting gantry. It's time to go back to racing once again. Final number 2. It's 3 out of 6 for the final stage of the BNL Karting Series kickoff. Red lights on the starting gantry. 30 minutes of weights of racing. And we go lights out, off into turn 1. Ginchard pushed a little bit further to the outside, and it looks like it could be Van Hoyten trying to get the opportunity, but Ginchard, whoa, comes out of nowhere and steals the lead from Pilka. Wow, that was a brazen move from Dan Ginchard. Instantly storms past. Oh, we've had a massive coming together. 3 karts involved, right at the very back. Kai Rielert, that kart's going nowhere. That's, oh, and the frustration says it all. He pounds the steering wheel in clear frustration. Kai Rielert absolutely fuming, kicking the ground, stamping the steering wheel. He had such high hopes for this weekend, and it's been stolen from him on the very, very first lap. So yellow flags at turns 1, 2 and 3. That's a real shame for the young Belgian. Was absolutely flying in the first final, and he's just come a cropper, possibly through no fault of his own. But Ginchard has got the likes of Edquist, who's in 3rd, and right behind him is Ollie Pilker from Dan Holland Racing, who started on pole. Then you got Van Hoyten, Van Dijk, Schuring, Heinertz, Schmeis, Christensen, Stemmerding, Voisin, Thiel, De Wit, Mikhailov and Klus. That's your top 15. And Tom Adams was also involved. Then you also had Kirstens, I think, might have been involved as well, might have been an unwilling participant. Mike van Vught, in the meantime, started down in, you're not going to believe this, he started all the way down in around 34th position. He is now up to 21st, as Pilka is defending from Danny van Dijk. Vilgot Edquist is behind them with, oh, that's not good at all, not good at all. 2:14 was involved there, I believe. That's Schuring. So that's another calamity down on the outside of turn 10. So another 2 karts, 1 kart mounting the other. That was Schuring going on the top of somebody else, going into turn number 10. Marshall's rushing to the scene as I speak. Stemmerding's dropped way down the order as well. So that could be that Schuring went over the top of Stemmerding, mounted the back part of the kart, and then ended up on top of the other competitor. So yellow flags. That now complete field is being told to slow down. So marshals will be on the scene. Full course yellow. Full course yellow, I believe. Yep, full course yellow has been called. Just hope that both competitors are all okay. Time is still ticking down at the minute. Yeah, field is slowing to a crawl now. I hope that both drivers are all okay. So that was the 2:14 of Schuring, and I think that was the 2:09 of Stemmerdink that was involved as well. Full course yellow has been officially called here at Karting Genk in the second Junior Max final of the weekend for the BNL Karting Series kickoff. So they're still being told to slow at the approach towards turn number 10. Daniel Ginchard is ahead of Danny Van Dijk. Ollie Pilker is in third position. Danny Van Hoyten and Vilgot Edquist complete the top 5. Oscar Christensen is in 6th, and it sounds like they're about to go to full racing speed, I believe, this lap. But they'll have to watch it at turn 10. Green flag wave, we go back racing. 8 minutes 35 on the clock. Dan Ginchard leads. Pilker is trying to go up the inside. Oh, steals it from Danny Van Dijk coming through the exit of turn 1 into turn 2. Nice work by the pole from... Oh, he's trying to go past Ginchard. He's trying to force the issue. Bounces the curbs. On turn 4, Ginchard loses out not just 1, not just 2, possibly 3 places. No, he's holding on to third at the minute is Ginchard. But Pilker was like an absolute curb assassin there. As, oh, we've got another car now forlorn on the inside of turn number 3. That looks to be... can't see who that is at the moment. I'll find out momentarily. As Ginchard got, I think... Well, Danny Van Dijk went for it. And then Ollie Pilker went... Come on, lads, I'll have the pair of you. And did it in one fell swoop. In 3 corners, he went from third to first. So now the Dan Holland Racing driver now leads with 7 minutes and 42 on the clock to go. Mike Van Vugt, in the meantime, now hits the top 15. The young Dutchman on the 201 from JJ Racing is in... Whoa, no, hold the phones. Watch out for Van Vugt as Edquist goes up the inside of Ginchard on turn 2 for third position. As there's more bumping and boring. Oh, someone's nearly... Oh, that was very close indeed for Oscar Christensen from RS Competition. And he's been clattered into again at turn 6. That's disaster. Absolute disaster. This is hand over fist, becoming a really, really difficult race here for a lot of the competitors. I'm wondering if we can get a camera onto turn 6. I'm wondering who the other driver is, because Van Vugt has absolutely been flying today. I hope he hasn't been involved in another altercation. We'll find out as they cross the start-finish line. I think that might have been somebody else. Hang on. Where is Van Vugt? Where is Van Vugt? Was that him again? I'm just keeping an eye. Oh, yeah. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place, but it normally will do at a different part of the circuit. First it's turn 9, now it is turn 6 that has caused a problem for, I think probably what Mike Van Vugt was trying to do was to try and avoid Oscar Christensen, who went off at turn 4, had to come back onto the racing line. Van Vugt might have just been completely unsighted and ended up being a casualty as well. So that's the defending BNL Karting Series Junior Max champion out in the second final as well. Or is he going to keep on going? Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Danny Van Dijk is still behind Ollie Pilker, who is starting to pull away to the tune of 0.6 of a second. And we have 5 minutes and 52 seconds plus an additional lap. Ginchard still has time. He still has time, because if he can get in front of Vilgot Edquist and Danny Van Dijk, he has an opportunity. Oh, now, that's a warning flag for the 2:14. And that is Schuring. Yeah, that's Schuring from earlier on. Morris Schuring got a warning, black and white warning flag. But he's not taking any further part in this race. Belker at the moment seems to have bolted a little bit. So it seems that, oh, well, Edquist and Ginchard have both got past Danny Van Dijk for second and third respectively. So Van Dijk drops down from second to fourth in a handful of corners. But I don't think the Dutchman's going to be quite finished yet, so to speak. as it's still 5 minutes plus an additional lap to go in this last Junior Max final of the BNL Karting Series kickoff here at Karting Genk. So Pilker leads. His gap was about 7/10. Let's see if Edqvist and Ginchard have made a dent in it, so to speak. Fractionally, absolutely fractionally. It's less than 7/10 between Pilker and Edqvist. So at the moment, your top 10 is as follows. Ollie Pilker leads from Vilgot Edqvist, Daniel Ginchard, Danny Van Dijk, Danny Van Ruijten, Tom Heinertz impressing again in 6th. I've been keeping... He's getting feisty now. He's on the back bumper, I think, of Danny Van Ruijten. Yes, he is going down into turn 7. Will he make a move? Not quite yet. Not at all. I think he's being very, very safe there. As there's a good couple of moves. There's a couple of synchronized overtakes up the inside going into turn 7. So it's Pilker from Edqvist, Ginchard, Van Dijk, Van Ruijten, Heinertz, Schoenmakers, Schmeis, Noels Lokmelis, and Klus running at the top 10. Callum Voisin, in the meantime, has got up into 11th position, ahead of the recovering Jeff Michiels. Jeff's now got from 33rd to 12th. Obviously, that's the result. So at the moment, the following drivers have been eliminated. Kirstens, Gielitz, Adams out on the very first lap. Stemmerdink, Schoring, Zanen as well. On the 297, then I think Van Vugt and Christensen are no longer taking any part. Axel Hansel, I believe, is also out of this, so we are down from 35 drivers. But hang on a second, let's see. No, Van Vugt and Christensen are still circulating. They've carried on. Yes, I've just seen him. I've just seen... So there we go. Christensen is a fair distance behind Mike Van Vugt, who's just put in, would you believe it, the fastest lap of the race. I think he's just going, you know what, I'm going to do a qualifying session here. I've got some track time here. I've got BNL round 1 in a month's time. I'm just going to use this as track time. Very good call if you have done that, Mike. So he's now done a 56.291. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, 2 minutes 50 plus an additional lap. The battle at the front is getting ever tighter. Edqvist coming under pressure from Ginchard, who's very, very, very close indeed through turn 3. Right on the back bumper of the Swede, going through turns 5 and now into 6. Not quite close enough to mount an assault, but the pair are catching Ollie Pilker, who is leading. The gap between first and second was just under 4/10 last time around, as they head now into turn 8 and try to carry the momentum through. That it's hard on the anchors for the left-hand hairpin at turn 9. So Ginchard, I think, is threatening a little bit here. If he gets a chance, he's going to definitely have that opportunity. But Pilker has been pretty much on fire this whole weekend with Dan Holland Racing. We've got Edqvist with Strawberry Racing and Dan Ginchard with SFR Motorsport. Danny Van Dijk and Danny Van Ruijten make it a Dutch 4-5, and I think the positional changes happened. So Van Ruijten's gone up the inside of Van Dijk into turn 2. Meanwhile, the 3 at the front going through turn 5. They now go onto the back straight, and this is where some people might think, can they pass road-going traffic? Yes, before they hit the braking... Well, pretty much before they hit the braking zone at turn 7. So Pilker has now got 2 new challengers again on his back bumper. That's Vilgot Edqvist and Dan Ginchard. We have 1 minute and 15 seconds plus an additional lap. By my reckoning, that is going to probably give us 3 more laps after the... Well, this and another couple of laps as Ollie Pilker goes very ultra defensive on from Edqvist. Ginchard's going to get a tow from the pair of them as Pilker goes towards the inside line. Vilgot Edqvist gets forced to the outside, bumps into the back bumper of Ollie Pilker ever so slightly. Ginchard is there just thinking, I've got a chance here. I really have got a chance. I've got to bide my time and wait to make my move. Well, Dan, you've got this and another lap to go, mate. You really have to think about when you're going to strike, because he's got the legs under that cart, I do have to say. As Edqvist slipstreams behind Pilker going into turn 7. Can't make the move stick. Oh, you know what, guys? If you're watching right now, look at where your eyeballs are currently, because I now see a top 7 battle. This is not for... This is for the lead. And Ginchard behind him has got Van Dijk, Van Ruijten, Schoenemakers, and the impressive Heinertz on his Junior Max debut. As I think, has Edqvist made the move on Pilker? Not yet. No, not quite yet. But if they're battling this way, it's going to be one more lap. Side by side between Pilker and Edquist. Where is Ginchard going to strike? Well, he's got Van Dijk, Van Hoyten. Heinert's now up into 6th place. Having got past, so Schoenemaker's up into 5th. This is getting ever so dicey. We're about to hit the halfway point of the final lap of this race. This is incredibly difficult to call. Pilker now still leading from Edquist, from Ginchard, who hangs in on the outside of turn 7. Very nicely controlled there, Dan, to keep himself in contention. So it's going to be this one. It's going to be another. I think it's going to be one more lap. I think they've got the last lap board readied at the start-finish straight. As well, it looks like Van Dijk has got back past Heiner. Says Edquist coming under stern competition from Ginchard. Look at the front of the field. This is concertina ring. Someone's going to really come out bad on this one. I've got a feeling about it. As Pilker gets ahead, Edquist, and this is the final lap of the race. This is all or nothing. Someone's going round the outside. That is Danny Van Dijk, you absolute charlatan, my friend. Round the outside of Danny Van Hoyten to take back 5th position. You could have got 4th if you tried, mate. And he's going up the inside of somebody else into turn number 6. And Van Hoyten responding as well. This is going to come down to the wire. The top 3 have broken away. Pilker leads, Edquist, Ginchard. That's your top 3 as they head through turn 8 for the final time. Absolute squabble behind them. That's absolutely ridiculous. Michiel's up into the top 10. He's got past Reinhardt, I believe. But it's now going to be a few more corners. It's not long to go now. We're going to find out who's going to punch the air and know that they're going to Le Mans in August. I'm not too sure. I want to wait for the provisional result. But this has been a great Junior Max final number 2. But Ollie Pilker's going to come under pressure from Phil. Got Edquist towards the line. Who's going to take it? It's Pilker! It's Pilker! By 0.042 of a second. That was on the line. Pilker knew that he had to keep it planted. Had to keep it planted. And the Polish driver from Dan Holland Racing wins final number 2 for the Junior Max division. Wow. That's just starting. That's just starting what's going to happen next. So, congratulations to Ollie Pilker. We'll find out who's going to be. I'm not going to call it. I can't call it because it's too difficult to call. I think, subject to confirmation, Micromax and Minimax, I think, are pretty much decided. I'm thinking it's going to be one of the top 3. If it's Pilker, Ginchard, or Edquist, they've definitely deserved it this weekend. So your finishing order is that Ollie Pilker from Dan Holland Racing wins Junior Max, final number 2 here at Karting Genk. Vilgot Edquist takes 2nd position ahead of Daniel Ginchard from the United Kingdom. Danny Van Hoyten, Luca Schoenemakers and Danny Van Dijk round out the top 6. Great drive jump from Belgium's Jeff Michiels to start 33rd and finish 7th ahead of Tom Reinhardt. Patrick Snolls Lokmelis finished in 9th ahead of Callum Voyson from the UK, who rounded out the top 10. Lewis Mullert, Morris Schmeitz, Giuseppe Fico came all the way back from 35th to 13th ahead of Lucas Scherbinskas with Valentin Klus and Gianni Andrisani rounding out the top 16. Drake Janssen, Luca Thiel, Artem Michalov, Sam Bergstein, George Peters. Mike Van Vught managed to recover back to 22nd at the end of that, putting in the fastest lap of the race. You also had Sam Van Thiel, Bart de Wit, Flint Schuring, Axel Hansel, Felix de Prenter, Daniel Tsuranakov, and Oscar Christensen being the last of the classified finishers, with Lars Zanen, Morris Schuring, Max Stemmendink. I hope he's okay after that collision at turn 10. Tom Adams, Kai Hillitz, and Wout Kirstens, unfortunately.